guys, it's Buddha Gem, and I just want to talk a little bit about why I think Occupy Wall Street is so amazing. I don't, the input I get from folks who are on the outside or the fringes of the movement, it's not exactly clear what's going on. People are really caught up in the end. What are the demands? What are you guys fighting for? What is the end game? Where does this all take us to, right? The end, the destination, I guess, of Occupy Wall Street. What is it? And I don't know. And I don't think anybody knows. But that misses the point in a lot of ways, because it's this process right now of this diverse array of people, the 99%, coming together and figuring out in a horizontal structure that is deeply democratic how to work with each other, how to take care of each other and feed each other and house each other and love each other. And it's this process that's deeply democratic, horizontal, no leaders, that is just amazing. Now, I'm not going to kid you, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. And any of you can go online, you can watch our meetings on live stream, whether it's a General Assembly or a Spokes Council meeting or practically anything else we do. There's usually a live streamer around. And see that people get upset, people get passionate, people speak over each other, people disrupt the process. All sorts of stuff happens. But there's a definite growth taking place where folks are learning to be respectful, be a little more quiet, be a little more understanding, someone who doesn't speak as quickly or maybe as articulately as someone else. And we're all learning this together, and it is mind-blowing. It is so exciting. And to go from that to some bullshit voting booth where you're, really? No. You wouldn't even want to do that after you experience this. And real quickly, I just want to give you a little story that happened at a Spokes Council roughly a week ago that I think really illustrates how principled the folks are within Occupy Wall Street. Like I said, one of the biggest things that we deal with is disruptors. How to deal with them. People who don't want to respect process, who want to gum up the works, who want to block every single thing. That's a problem. And other occupations are dealing with similar issues. And that's part of the interesting thing, is we're all coming up with different ways to deal with it. But briefly, we had a Spokes Council meeting, and one of these people who like to disrupt was barred from entering. Not from Spokes Council itself, but from the third party that we use their space. Okay, this is an exact, I'm not going to get into the details, but that's at least what everybody in the group thought was happening. So we're there in a meeting, we're told that this disruptor can't make it in because of this third party that allows us to use their space, right? Everybody got what they wanted in that room. 75, 80 people, 100 people. Everybody was just like elated at the idea of finally having a meeting where this disruptive person wouldn't be there, right? We got what we wanted. You know what was amazing though? That entire meeting, person after person after person spoke out about how, you know what? It's great that this disruptive person isn't here, but it didn't happen the right way. We didn't do it. It wasn't through an open and democratic process. People were really concerned about how it happened. Not just getting what you want, but the process of how we get there. That mattered to people. It mattered to people that it wasn't open, it wasn't democratic, it wasn't something that we had collectively decided together was the right thing to do. And every single person in that room felt that it was just wrong. That, wow, we really wanted to, it's great to see, we have this meeting and, people respected process and waited for their turn to speak and everything. And that part was beautiful. But people were really upset by the fact that this person was excluded in a way that didn't suit our shared values. And that's what's so exciting, is that people genuinely care just as much about how we get there as where we're going. It's not a matter of the ends justify the means. We don't believe that at Occupy Wall Street. And that's what's so exciting, to see people that genuinely care. Genuinely care that we're not just marginalizing people because they disagree. We're not just shunning people because maybe they're not as articulate or, well-spoken. People genuinely care that we make this as inclusive as possible, as open, as transparent, and as democratic as possible. And I just couldn't encourage you more to get out there in your Occupy communities. That'll probably be a little different than ours. But from the folks I've talked to from occupations all over the world, they're also very similar. And there's a very similar desire to maintain that horizontal structure and that democratic spirit. So, check it out. Occupy Wall Street's amazing. And like I said, occupy with your hearts. Occupy with your minds. Let's do this. Peace.